So I thought I'd give you all a few ideas of how you could start improvising. Of course, some of you will have improvised before. Many of you will play jazz or other forms of music, rock, pop, folk, country, where you would improvise solos all the time. But I thought I would take you through how I started improvising, got into it as an idea, as an instrumentalist primarily. Now I'm going to demonstrate things on the violin, so some things that I say may to you seem like they only apply to the violin, but I think you can take similar approaches to the basic way that your instrument works and that kind of exploration of instrumental techniques and apply them to your own instrument. I can perhaps suggest a few ideas a bit later, but I'll start by just thinking about bowing, different speeds of bowing, which really, the bow of course is the heart and soul of string playing in the sense that it's what gives the timbre of the instrument, depending on your different bowing styles. So something I used to do when I was roughly your age was play a lot of open strings, and I enjoyed just trying to use different bow speeds to get different kinds of sounds from just the open string, and then start introducing other ways of the left hand in other ways producing different sounds in combination with different bowings. That's a good point to stop. We fall off the string. So that's just a way to try to see how the string will react to different kinds of bow speeds and bow pressures, and then just very slight touching of the string at harmonic, what I call harmonic nodes on the string, which produce the different harmonics of the string. So really, it's an exploration of the physical nature of how a string vibrates, which is a very basic thing, but to me is a really great way to get inside what the instrument can do beyond just normal playing. So broadening your technical facility, but also your ear into hearing the instrument in different ways. So for a wind instrument, one could, for instance, use different kinds of embouchures or different air pressures to get similar effects. Even a pianist could explore different ways of repeating a note with the pedal down, without the pedal down, with different pedals, with different settings, just to see how the string starts to interact with itself, to kind of produce feedback. So that was an exploration of very light bow pressure and fast bow speed, what we call flautando bowing in string playing. Now, if I were to do something different and or its converse, and explore slow bow speeds and greater pressure, I could get somewhere like this. So that's something that you can annoy your parents with, of course. I still annoy my parents with that whenever they come to my concerts. But it's a different, again, a very different sound world that you can coax out of your instrument, which some of you might think is not so beautiful, but I find it another interesting way to make the instrument speak, especially if you practice it in a way that you can actually control the different pressure, the different kind of mechanics of tone production, so you can predict what is going to come out. Of course, there's lots of different scratches. There's the scratches that are like that, quite perforated. There's white noise, kind of very noisy scratch. There's something in between, which, again, physically what happens is that you make the string think that it's twice the string length, so it goes down an octave from what you expect it to sound like. Again, things like that can be applied to different instruments. Really what it is, it's trying to find as many different colors from the instrument as you can. And using your imagination and willingness to try things that may not sound so good to begin with, but once you learn to control them well, can open up completely new avenues. So if I were to combine these different kind of bowing techniques with some left hand techniques, I might explore a more musically varied kind of improvisation that one could see as a kind of noise music improvisation, as it deals with the timbral more than things like melody and harmony. So that way you can make your, well, certainly make a violin sound like perhaps it's been put through effects pedals or electronics. And often when I play things like that, people are looking for the amplifiers and the computers to see how some of those sounds were made. But really, it's just the brute acoustics of the instrument itself. Of course, you can do fun things too, like make the violin sound like a distorted guitar without any kind of effects. Again, just using different pressure in both the left hand and the right hand to make it scream. So that's a kind of trick that makes it sound like it's coming out of a very distorted amplifier.